Hello and welcome back to Holt Hanley Weather. In this video we're going to look at the forecast for the Super Bowl as well as the storms moving into the northwest and southeast. Those are going to be coming in over the weekend, and then we're also going to look at the storms moving into the northeast later next week. So let's dive into my screen here, and right away the feature that stands out is that trough that's really digging in over Oklahoma and Texas. Well, that trough is going to move through the southeast and bring some rain with it. And that's something to think about with the Super Bowl coming on Sunday in Miami, Florida. And as it turns out, this is now Saturday night. That trough is right over Florida. That's going to be bringing some rain. But lucky for football fans, that trough is going to move off into the Atlantic. And then you can see Sunday afternoon, Florida and basically the entire rest of the country are sitting under just a gigantic ridge. And the northwest, you see a nice trough digging in right from Northern California all the way up to Montana. That's going to bring some rain and snowstorms to the northwest, but like I said, huge ridge over the rest of the country, possibly record-breaking temperatures in Texas, southern Florida. So great weekend for the Super Bowl. Let's take a closer look. This is Saturday morning for Florida, and you can see there's still rain throughout basically the entire state. Saturday afternoon, rain still hanging around, and it looks like the bullseye of it is right in the Miami area. Bring in maybe 0.5 inches of rain per hour. But when we move forward, you can see that by Sunday, and let's go right to game time. This is about Sunday game time for the Super Bowl. It's held in Miami, and the temperatures, it's looking like 69 degrees, completely sunny. We can actually look at those temperatures. So Saturday, see, even though there is rain, it's still pretty warm down there. I mean, it's Florida. They're surrounded by the nice warm Gulf Stream and Gulf of Mexico. So it's still pretty warm. And then Sunday, look at that. We got 69 degrees in Miami. There's going to be some winds in the morning, but by the time game time happens, those winds are going to nicely taper off, and that's going to be pretty nice for the kickers. Let's take a look at that storm that's moving into the northwest. So you see right away, you see that there could be a foot of snow in northern parts of Washington. Moving into Sunday afternoon, that big trough starts to dig in. That's when the rest of the country is in a ridge. Well, the northwest has a nice trough. So Oregon, you see maybe half a foot of snow. Parts of Idaho could be seeing an entire foot of snow. And places in Washington as well. Starts to move into Montana with maybe a foot of snow in parts of southern Montana. And at this point, this is late Sunday night. Pretty much all of Oregon could be getting some snow at this point. Now let's look at, so I talked about that huge ridge over the entire country and possibly record-breaking temperatures in Texas. Well, let's look at those. Saturday, you see on the western sides of Texas, there's still some of that cold air hanging out. But moving in, basically into Saturday afternoon, that cold air moves back north, and that warm air starts to really build in from the south. You can see 66, 68 degrees in southern Texas, and it's just going to get warmer from there. Moving into Sunday afternoon, that dark reds really start showing up. 71 degrees, 72 degrees, and this is February 2nd, and we're seeing 72 degrees, even though Texas is a very southern location. 72 in February is awesome wherever you live. There's also going to be a storm going into the Midwest. Let's take a good look at that. First thing I see is there's some snow in Iowa. This is Saturday at about 7 in the morning. So we got some snow in Iowa. This is 24-hour accumulated snowfall. They could maybe be getting an inch. Parts of Ohio could be getting an inch. Nothing too significant. Parts of Michigan could get an inch, maybe 2 inches in some places. They're going to get some of that lake effect snow that is nice this time of year. And southern parts of Ohio could be seeing an inch, maybe 2 inches of snow as well, moving through your weekend. And then towards Sunday night, Let's go back to right there. That's actually Sunday morning. That's when basically all of Michigan is covered in snow. Pretty good. It's going to be a nice weekend for you. All right, now I really want to take a look at the Northeast. I keep talking about how disappointing the Northeast winter has been, and maybe there's some relief coming your way if you're a snow lover. So I talked about this in my last video. There's this low pressure system. You see the snow going from basically all the way from California to Montana in this map right now. And that low pressure system sitting right there, and the low is actually going to split in two. And the more northern low is going to go up, hit the Northeast. The southern low is going to dig into the Gulf, pick up some moisture, and then move up the entire East Coast, and then hit the Northeast again. So let's take a look at that. This is Monday, so this is after this weekend. These storms will be coming in from Wednesday to Friday next week. At least that's what the models are saying right now. You know, it could change by the time the storm actually hits. So you see it's combined into just one big low, bringing snow to Montana, Utah, and it's going to move off. Let's see if we can see it split in two. Happens right there. That's going to be bringing rain to parts of Louisiana, all the way up to Missouri, maybe some heavy rain in Missouri. And then you start getting a little freezing rain, some wintry mix, some snow for parts of Nebraska. And then this is Wednesday. You see a move into the Northeast while the more southern low digs into the Gulf. And you see that brings a whole bunch of rain for Louisiana. Well, what that's going to do, when you get all that moisture into a storm and a lot of warm air, that's just going to give the storm a bunch of energy. Warm air leads to rising motion, which leads to more energy for the storm and a stronger storm. And you can kind of see the energy. The entire East Coast at this point, this is Thursday morning, early Thursday morning. And the entire East Coast is getting some rain at this point. More northern locations where it's colder, going to get that freezing rain. So you see that low moves off above Maine, and then the tail end of that is actually going to follow in right behind it on Friday. And wow, that's a pretty cool shot right there. You can see the strip of rain going up the entire East Coast, and then snow in the colder conditions. So let's take a look at the closer view of the Northeast to see what this is going to do. I started it right Wednesday morning. You can see, wow, a lot of freezing rain for Pennsylvania. Watch out driving next Wednesday. Rain in the southern portions of the state, some snow in New York, and then by Wednesday afternoon next week, all of New York could be getting some snow. Pennsylvania, on the other hand, mostly rain and some freezing rain. You also see some rain in Vermont. No, that's snow. And then snow in Massachusetts, snow in Connecticut. Pretty good storm. And then some freezing rain behind it. Wow, look at all that freezing rain. This is going to be Thursday morning, and basically the entire eastern part of New York is covered in freezing rain at this point. I think this is already when that second low has moved in. Yeah, you can see it just to the left of Pennsylvania right here. So that's going to move through. Freezing rain to Vermont, New Hampshire, snow in the northern parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and snow in Maine as well. That low is going to move off. And then remember that big strip of rain along the entire East Coast on Friday? Well, that's going to move up. Oh, that's a cool view right there. You can see the perfect line where the warmer conditions on the coast are going to be getting that rain. That low is sitting right to the right of Pennsylvania. The coastal locations are going to get rain because that warm Gulf Stream really moderates their temperatures, keeps them nice and warm, while the more northern locations and farther inland, they're going to get to see some of that snow. Western parts of Pennsylvania, pretty much all of New York, and then Vermont's going to get some good snow on the tail end of this low as well. Let's look at what are the totals that we can see. So 2-3 inches in parts of Pennsylvania and southern New York, as well as 2 inches in Vermont and New Hampshire. Ooh, some 4 inches. This is by Thursday morning. And wow, Thursday afternoon, Maine, you could be seeing 6 inches of snow with this storm. And then that one moves off. And then remember that next low moves in behind it. And that one's looking pretty good too. 4 inches, 5 inches. And it really spreads evenly across the entire Northeast. From basically West Virginia all the way up to Maine. You could be seeing 4 to 6 inches of snow with this storm next Friday. I'll keep you updated as the models progress and get better about this storm. And I hope you all have a good time watching the Super Bowl. If you're going to the game, well, lucky for you, it's going to be beautiful. Thanks for watching.